I'm Greg Hunter. This is the weekly news wrap-up for Friday, August 21st, 2020, the WNW 445, coming to you from a farm in Missouri. And some good news out here in farm country in the Midwest. But I got to talk about this crazy Dem Convention. You know, I was forced to watch all the debates of the crazy time, higher taxes. Raise your hand if you'd like to have benefits for illegal aliens, which we, taxpayers and citizens, are going to pay for. Everybody raise their hand. Higher taxes, take away your AR-15s. Beto O'Rourke is in charge of that. Just every crazy defund the police. This is their platform. No bail for criminals, that you could murder a cop and be out the next day on no bail. They don't enforce the laws. It's a zoo. It's a chaos. And here we have the Dem Convention comes on the heels of all this. And boy, they're just solidifying the crazy. And here we have the Dem Convention. I call it a disaster. They said it was like one big infomercial. Yeah, an awful one. Low ratings, no ideas, just Trump bashing. Michelle Obama says, vote for Joe and make the chaos stop. Meaning Democrats will stop destroying things if they get their way. Obama talks about our democracy. Is this why the Dems want open borders and massive illegal immigration? Whoop, hold on. Let me get there with you. Hold on. Massive illegal immigration and cheat by mail. Who are they kidding with Joe Biden? He's mentally deficient. Even the president's former doctor says that Joe can't string a couple of sentences together. Who are we kidding with Joe Biden here? Terry McAuliffe says we want him in the base. If he's a big-time Democratic operative, former governor of Virginia before crazy Northam got in there. But Dems know that they got a problem, and they're hiding with the help of the mainstream media. It's a huge mistake they can't reverse easily. I don't know how they're going to ever get Biden on stage to debate President Donald J. Trump. I mean, that's going to be like a guy with a teaspoon taking on a guy with a big, long machete. Trump's got the machete. I talked to Catherine Austin Fitz and asked her, it's one of the last questions I asked her. She's going to be the guest for the Saturday Night Post. And she says, they know they got a problem. It's obvious. Come on, it's obvious. I mean, we're voting for Kamala Harris for president. It's what we're voting for. She's up against Donald Trump. That's what the deal is. And Joe Biden seems to be answering all the questions, including answering questions about his cognitive abilities or non-abilities. No mention of the riots, and they keep calling them peaceful. Look at these cities: Portland and Seattle and San Francisco and Chicago and not Detroit. No, you're not bringing that here. Good for Detroit. And all these other cities are burned to the ground. Can you imagine the tax base? Can you imagine? Wait till this happens. When insurance companies say, yeah, we're not going to be writing residential or commercial property insurance anymore in your cities. No, that ain't going to happen. And then you have the rise of the, security guard and the private security, which is a big trend coming up, according to one friend of mine who does this kind of research. I don't know if I'm available to say that. I said, listen, there's got to be Democrats that can't be this stupid. They can't watch their property, fall to zero where they can't sell it in Portland and Seattle and then have trouble getting insurance. Wait till the insurance rates either are non-existent, you won't be able to get it, or they triple, quadruple, then, the insurance commissioner won't allow that. Then, boom, we're not writing insurance in the state. I mean, Minneapolis is a disaster. San Francisco, Chicago, L.A., Seattle. Come on. There's got to be Democrats. I told this to my friend of mine He does informational computer data research. And he says, you're absolutely right. There are Democrats that aren't going to show up in polls. I've been saying this for months, right? That aren't going to show up in polls, that are not going to vote for the crazy. They're not going to do it. They're not. They don't want to be out in their $40,000 SUV or $50,000 SUV, on I-5 and then have the whole road blocked and then some crazy loon with a skateboard bashing their windows out with your two girls in the back seat. Democrats don't like that either. Also, you've had in one of the latest polls, 38% of black people, they're the ones willing to say, yeah, I ain't voting for Democrats. That must not be black. As Joe Biden said, if you don't vote Democrat, you're not black. But I talk about this with Catherine Austin Fitz briefly, and he says they know they got a problem. I don't know how they can fix it. I don't know how they can fix it either. All the phony polls that support Biden. Oh, he's up by double digits. Just like Hillary was up by double digits. Remember all that? And I told you that she would not be president. I'm going to go and tell you Joe Biden cannot win. He's not going to be able to debate Donald Trump. They're going to come up with some excuse. That ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. Unless there's some magical drug that puts him right for 2 or 3 hours at a time. Not going to happen. He's got people talk. His wife is talking more than him. They got people in the off in the wings that when he does start screwing up, they jump in and stop the interview to save his bacon, keep him from saying something stupid or looking stupid. I mean, we got at 75 days to the elite. You're going to be able to run this. You can think you're going to get people to vote for this. And then the no talk about the burning the cities down. Oh, we'll rebuild it better. You mean after you destroyed it, now you want a chance to rebuild what you destroyed, Democrats? Please. That's my impression of the Democrat convention. Disaster. I mean, it just framed the kookiness. And then everybody, the king has no clothes, and the king is Biden. And nobody wants to say, woo, he's nuts. He can't be president. Well, we might as well nominate Kamala, who came in dead last in the primaries. That's who they... Okay. You know how I feel about that. There are plenty of... My headline, black people are going to vote for Trump more than they would ever imagine. Not all of them. And there are going to be a percentage of every other form of Democrat that are going to vote for Donald Trump. Because how can you watch your house go to zero? If you have a house in the Portland area, do you think you can sell it? Minneapolis? Seattle? Do you think you can sell an apartment in downtown Portland? Do you think you what happened to that's happening to the tax base, which is what this whole we want $3 trillion to rebuild everything we burnt down, the Democrats, as opposed to Donald Trump, they're coming up with $1 trillion. It's crazy time. It's they're going to get to the election. I mean, they may not have a deal for anything other than unemployment, which Trump's going to do with the Treasury. We talked about that last week. And then the nastiness from businesses, and they don't realize Donald Trump has an 85 million follower Twitter account. Are you stupid, corporate America? And here we have virtual reversal. Goodyear bends the knee after Trump sparks a boycott. Yes, Goodyear CEO Rich Kramer issued a direct apology on Thursday. Too late! On Wednesday, President Trump tweeted, "Don't buy Goodyear tires," after a leaked photo of an external firm's diversity training slide appeared to show that the company considers Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter and MAGA attire unacceptable. This is company policy, folks. They had pictures of it. They have audio of it as well. They're hiring this nutty cuckoo-ness at Goodyear Tire, and many other corporations are backing this crazyville Marxism, destroy the traditional family, get daddy out of the house, nutty time where they don't care about black lives. Black lives don't matter because they don't care about black people. Otherwise, half of the people whose businesses were burned down were minorities. Most of those were black. The people taking it on the chin are black people. Black lives matter. Black lives don't care about black lives. If they did, it'd be a different story, but they don't. And that's obvious. They care about Marxism, they care about transgenderism, and driving daddy out of the house and destroying the traditional family. It says it on their site. They've said they're trained Marxists. That's what this is all about. Shame on corporate America. Goodyear stock was down 6% in a day. Doing! Already down 40% for the year. And he's out doing some political campaign. Are you stupid? The CEO should be fired tomorrow. Your stock's already down, 34%, and then you add on another 6% in one day, you idiot. And while at the same time encouraging Black Lives Matter and lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender pride attire. That's what they've sunk to. That's not only that, that's a religious thing. You're forcing on godless the black hole of Marxism onto Christians, and why should Christians bend the knee to the black hole of Marxism? Listen, I love Donald Trump, but he's got a problem with the economy that was thrown on him. Period. The end. And here's one thing. Hotels are headed for an unprecedented wave of foreclosure. Lodging groups warn. This is the Peter Romeo of the restaurant business. And this is jobs. That's why I'm bringing this up. The current level of delinquencies even surpasses the $13.5 billion that lenders were owed during the Great Recession that started in 2008, according to the association. Tack on that, we're back over another million people who are filing for unemployment. This is why Donald Trump is going to tack on, go after the Treasury, the $1.8 trillion of the Treasury, to pay this unemployment benefit. Not as much as it was before, but he's going to pay it so people aren't out in the street. They're talking about foreclosures of, 15 million people being kicked out of their houses and rent delinquencies and foreclosures. I mean, this is beyond Great Depression levels. And it happened, boom, in a few months' time. And that's why it looks better than what it is. And why am I telling you this? Don't take on leverage. It ain't okay. You keep on preparing. Don't take on leverage. A friend of mine was going to, leverage his paid-for brand-new pickup truck to buy a piece of farm equipment. I said, don't do that. Get out of the stock market. It went down 40% and back up 40%. This is the longest expansion in history. How much more do you think stocks will expand after coming back from a 40% decline with a sea of printed money? Warning, danger, warning. Printing money only takes you so far. And again, there's another 1 million. We have, 56 million people who have applied for unemployment in a country of 320 million people. Are you getting that, folks? Keep buckling down the hatches. And if you want to get the big picture of where trade is going, here, this is from the World Trade Organization, WTO. And it's just this simple, okay? World trade plunged to lowest levels on record in June. And that's what it looks like. I mean, this is, here we are, coming along. It's already declining a little bit. And then COVID, bam! It's tanking. This is below normal. This is not, don't take on risk, folks. Pay off risk. Don't take on debt. Get out of debt. Get yourself in a tough, firm position. Judy Shelton, she's had some wild, crazy things, like she supports the gold standard, honest money, and she questioned whether or not we have a need for central banks. And here we have, that when extreme, ill-considered views, 38 Fed alum urged Senate to reject Judy Shelton's nomination. That makes me want her in there more, all the more. I want Judy Shelton to make it on the Federal Reserve Board. Shelton supports gold standard and questioned the need for central banks. She must want good for America and not the bankers. Vote her onto the Fed. Vote her onto the Fed. It makes me, when the evil comes out and spits daggers and wasps at somebody they want to get on the Federal Reserve, bam, ding, 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 that's the person you need on there. I hope she makes it. And then I want to just bring in this here about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, my incompetent boob. Sometimes, even the losers get lucky sometime, as Tom Petty says. Warren Buffett to buy stake in Barrick Gold, nearly 21 million shares. Are you getting that, folks? Warren Buffett is spending his free cash to buy Barrick Gold Corporation. Oh, yeah. You know what Buffett says on CNBC? He's telling them, I'm buying it for the copper. Come on. Why would you buy the number 2 biggest global gold producer for the copper? Please stop. Stop it. You can't even be honest. He's buying it for the gold. Where do you think gold prices are going to go? Listen, if this isn't a buy signal, I don't know what is. Buffett has bought, and he sold Goldman Sachs. Woo! Whoa, what does that tell you? His darling Goldman Sachs that he bought before the Great Recession. Remember that? Remember him, getting this sweetheart deal with Goldman Sachs? And they almost went under with AIG. Almost. If AIG didn't get bailed out, Goldman would have gone under. And they should have. That's how you fix capitalism. You bring back bankruptcy. Oh, you made a mistake. Oh, yeah, well, you're going to pay for that. And your assets are going to be, given away to somebody who's more competent. Warren Buffett. You're not going to get bailed out. That's a stupid thing. I've said this a million times. This is how stupid this. My secretary pays more in taxes than I do. Yes, and your secretary does get multi-trillion-dollar bailouts for the stupid stuff she buys in her fund. And one other thing I wanted to bring up, some good news in Planned Parenthood before I go on to the crop report. Planned Parenthood in Indiana, Planned Parenthood has given up. Indiana passed a law and said, okay, you can have an abortion, but you got to do an ultrasound and show that ultrasound at least 18 hours ahead of time to the mother. Oh, think that'll stop women from getting abortions? They go, whoa, you told me that was just some tissue in there. No, it's a baby. No, it looks like it's alive. Yes, it's alive. It's a baby. Yeah, but you told me it would be painless. No, that baby can feel pain. There's a special place in hell for somebody that sucks a baby out of a woman. And let me continue to beat this drum of our baby killer Cooper, the governor of the state of North Carolina, who vetoed a bill that protected protected babies if they made it through an abortion. Well, it looks like a lot of them do, because they harvest the organs from those babies while they are alive. It was admitted on camera, videotape deposition, and the Center for Medical Progress has this on their website. It was admitted by Planned Parenthood executives that in some cases they harvested the organs of live babies. Thank you, baby killer Cooper, for allowing the evil weasels to continue to harvest the organs of live babies. Anybody stop that? Are you hearing anything in the news about stopping that? Are you hearing anything about that? No, not a story. Do you think they stopped it? I think the answer is no. Thank you, Governor Cooper, for sticking up for the people that want to kill babies. That's who you're voting. That's the evil you're voting for in North Carolina. All right. But they did get it. Planned Parenthood gave up. They acquiesced. They threw in the towel, and now the law is in effect that you have to, or will be in effect, that you have to have an ultrasound and show it to the mother 18 hours before she decides to have that baby sucked out of her tummy. And they ought to tell them what they do with the body parts too, frankly. But, who knows? But that's a victory. That's a victory for the baby killers. Now, I'm in a farm in Missouri. Any reports of we're going to have a famine this year, forget it. The crops are lush from the North Carolina all the way through Kentucky, all the way through Tennessee, all the way through Indiana. Illinois looks beautiful. Farm country, some beautiful farm country there. Chicago I don't like so much, but Illinois farm country, I love everything outside of Chicago. I like most of Chicago. I just don't like the management because, they're evil and they're burning the place down. And, that hurts black people, frankly. But anyway, I digress. So here we have corn. It's basically done. We'll open it up here. It's brown tassel, means the ear is probably mostly done. That's what that means. They don't need any more rain. The corn is 10 feet tall. There's 2 ears per cob. This is average. This is almost even on the small side. But, this is what the corn looks like in Missouri, where I am. Right there. Full, beautiful corn. I just pulled this at random out of the field. It's one of the smaller ones. Some of the stalks have 2 ears. Few have 3. Going to be a bumper crop with corn. It's going to be pretty good for beans as well, even though Iowa took a horrible hit. Hundreds of miles of corn flattened up in Iowa. That didn't affect the price. The price is so big that didn't affect the price. I feel sorry for the farmers in Iowa. They work hard up there, and listen, your insurance doesn't pay diddly squat as opposed to a bumper corn crop, even if it is only $3 a bushel. But you're going to get some big corn, lots of ethanol, lots of corn, lots of food. China is buying record amounts of our corn because their growing season was creamed by all the flooding and the dams and all that. So that is actually some good news. In farm country, crops will be bumper unless something in Missouri and Tennessee and whatever and widespread. But it was hundreds of miles up in Iowa. It was an amazing destruction, wind flattening out all the corn down on the ground. It's unbelievable. But that did not affect the price. Unfortunately, a lot of those farmers are going to get stuck with the insurance money unless they can pull it off the ground. I mean, this is what this is pretty much done. If they don't need any more rain, it's not going to grow anymore. Everything's starting. You can see everything's starting to turn, brown. So that means we're done. So maybe they can get it off the ground and salvage the crop. I don't know. But the headline from the Midwest is bumper crops in corn and beans, and they had a pretty good year in winter wheat as well. So people are going to eat and continue to eat, and farmers are going to make some cash this year. I think even their prices will likely be lower. Thank you very much for supporting USAWatchdog.com with your comments and donations. That helps us out. I really appreciate all the well wishes and all the nice emails from you all. It's a struggle with this election year, but if Trump doesn't win, we're going to get full-on communism. That's really what the Democrat Party has turned into. And so you look at that, the choice is simple. I mean, the Constitution and freedom and liberty, at least some, and or Marxism and communism and total control, top-down total control, where just a few people at the top get all the stuff. Again, Catherine Austin Fist is the Saturday Night Post. Great interview, short, it's only 30 minutes long, but she covers a lot of ground. She's a publisher of the Solari Report at solari.com. She has some pretty eye-opening things, not just about the election, about currencies, about gold, about silver, about tangible assets, about things like that, and things that you need to do. Watch it, the Saturday Night Post. Thank you very much for supporting USAWatchdog.com. And as always, I tell you this stuff so you're informed and you know what's going on. I don't want you to be fearful. Please don't be. Evil wants you to be afraid. Don't be. Fear not. Prepare yourself mentally, physically, above all spiritually. Fear not. God the Father, His Son Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit all firmly in control, especially Jesus Christ. Just check out Matthew 28:18. You can't get any clearer than that. So fear not, and thank you again for supporting USAWatchdog.com.